Mortenson's first touchdown rushing for this Denver Gold club to tie that score at 7-7.
That's his first touchdown period, you know. He only had 18 tosses coming into this game. He has been very, very inactive as the quarterback for this Denver ball club. Of course, Johnson is the number one, and he's injured. Naffel was the backup. He's been traded away. And now Mortensen getting a chance to start, and he really is brand new out there. There's Spielman getting set to kick off now for the Denver Gold. They're all tied at 7, and we've got Kincaid awaiting the ball at the 5-yard. An onside kick, and it squirts out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Nobody, it went the required 10 yards, but nobody in a Denver Gold uniform touched it. Had they gotten a hand on it, they would have been the last to touch it, and it would have been theirs. So, an interesting ploy by Craig Morton, but I think the ball's going to go to Birmingham. Let's wait and see.
The fans wanted some excitement. They're getting it, and as you described it, it would have been Denver's ball. Actually, the covered people on that left side that were going down were so enthusiastic and anxious, they overran it.
Let me bring up another point now, Don Heinrich. This ball was not touched by anybody. Is it not an illegal procedure and a 5-yard penalty and kick it over?
As the ball rolls to the left, it just kind of squirts out of bounds, out of reach, unfortunately.
I think they're going to kick it over again, Coach.
It does look like it's going to go over, and we get another angle look at it as he hooks it to that side. And, you know, the first people down, normally they're looking for someone to block. It barely got 10 yards. Actually, it got 11 yards, but it had so much English on it that it was moving too quickly.
It is illegal procedure, Don. They're going back to the 30, and Denver will have to kick it over again.
Well, that'll keep the kickoff return team a little bit honest. They'll not be too quick to get back there and set up that wedge or to try to set up a left or right return.
It does give Birmingham something to think about. The opening play by Denver, Morton aired it out. He had Mortensen going deep for all the yardage, and now he's got an onside kick after getting the game tied. So Craig Morton is debuting with some bag of tricks in the end zone. Kincaid will touch it down. It'll come out to the 20.
Little enthusiasm by the crowd. They like that onside kick attempt, then turn around and kick it all the way into the end zone about a yard or two deep that they couldn't even bring it back out. The scoring drive, 13 plays, 76 yards. Long time, 7 minutes and 49 seconds, climaxed with the 3-yard option play by Mortensen.
We've got 6:57 remaining in the first half, and the game is tied at 7 as Birmingham takes over now, Lane at quarterback on his own 20-yard line. Handoff to Talton, breaks into the secondary and over the 25, out close to the 27-yard line. Bottom of the pile coming up from his linebacker spot was Newton to get a hand in the tackle. Mark it at the 26. It'll be 2nd and 4 at the 26. At halftime, Ron Blanding, who's the owner of the Denver Gold, will be our special live guest. We'll be talking with Mr. Blanding about all the hubbub and controversy that surrounded the firing of Denver coach Red Miller. Again, Talton, this time first down yardage over the 30 to about the 31, and Gherkin is there to make the stop.
Well, you know, Raleigh Dodge has gone back to what they did in that opening drive, and what they do best, really, is run that football. He was concerned they might get a little flat. Sometimes that'll happen to you. They moved down the field relatively easy in the opening drive to go on top 7-0. They missed a relatively short field goal that hurt them there in another drive. So now he said, wait a minute, I got to get that momentum back. This score is tied. We're going to have to go after them.
7 carries, 42 yards unofficially for Talton, and Birmingham has a great first down statistic as they average almost 6 yards a carry. And now Ken Talton again.
Oh, and a good job by Buddy Adelette, the left guard, as he's going to pull around. I don't know if we can get him into the picture on it. Good block up front of it. There's Adelette sealing it off, making a nice play at that point. You know, his wife Becky had a baby on Thursday, a 7.2-ounce baby girl named Miss Mary Lindsay. So congratulations to Becky and certainly Buddy Adelette.
I told you almost 6 yards a carry on first down situations for Birmingham, and that's exactly what Talton got. 2nd and 4. Here's Johnson. Breaks into the secondary at midfield, into Denver territory at the 48-yard line. And David Martin got just enough of running back Lonnie Johnson to keep him from scampering for a big one to the end zone.
And they open a big hole between Tom Banks and Buddy Adelette on the left side. The right side of your picture there, they get the trap coming across from Mark Battaglia. They seal off the inside, a gigantic hole for Johnson to bring it upfield. A nice cut back there, but just enough of a tackle to drop him.
15 yards on that pickup, and Birmingham on the move again. They started on their own 20. They're at the Denver 48. Lane off the play action, going down the far sidelines. It's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Miller. Miller takes it away from the intended receiver across the way, and that's Anderson. And Denver's defense sets this crowd on its feet. Denver will have the ball. 4:22 left in the half. Game tied at 7. Well, it was Miller's first interception, the team's 11th, and it couldn't have come at a better time, Don Heinrich.
Well, it sure couldn't. And a play that they've been setting up with the long trap, Banks and Adelette blocking down. That was Battaglia pulling across. Looked like the trap. Then they wanted to go deep to Anderson, but Nate Miller playing it perfectly, or Dave Martin playing it perfectly over there. The ball a little short by Lane, and that's where you get hurt, throwing short. That's his 10th interception of the year, and it hurt him. Good defensive play.
All right, so after Miller's interception, Denver takes over on its own 21, 1st and 10. Mortensen, the quarterback, had a 76-yard drive climaxed by a 3-yard touchdown run of his own a few moments ago. That's Sidney looking for running room. Good move inside, but he could not get away from the very tough Emuel Thompson, who took the fake inside, stayed right with Sidney, and dropped him right at the 20. No gain at all. Call it 2nd and 10 at the 21. And Denver with 4:04 remaining on the halftime clock with the ball deep at their end of the field as Craig Morton looks on.
And the tackle by Emuel Thompson was absolutely perfect. Harry Sidney was trying to give him a few moves out there and juke him to the inside, but he just zeroed in on that belt buckle, stayed right with him, because that's not going to move regardless of his legs or his head or his shoulders, and dropped him.
Durden is flanked to the left and Johnson is set to the right. Mortensen, the quarterback. Birmingham showing a 7-man front there as the linebackers jump up in the slots. Back to throw. Mortensen gets hit, staggers, going to be grabbed and downed. The referee, Kamansky, blowing him dead. Don't hit him, he's dead. Back at around the 15-yard line. Walker was in there very, very quickly.
As was Jackie Klein from his defensive end spot. It's given...
Third and 16 now, and the Denver Gold having some trouble getting on track now. Matheny comes in, new addition to the club. Coming in also, number 81, James Johnson comes out. Birmingham's got 3 sacks in the ball game tonight. That big guy right there, Jackie Klein. Awesome, that defensive line.
That gives him 6.5 sacks for the season. He's just going for penetration, a power rush on Doug Hoppick, the right tackle.
Bo Matthews, the lone setback, obviously for blocking purposes. Mortensen's got Sidney in motion. He's going to go to the air. Gets a rush. Downfield, almost intercepted. Billy Caesar had a very good shot at it, and Billy did his utmost to make the interception, but the ball was behind him. He stopped, did a wheel around, and slipped to the turf, couldn't grab the football.
And the reason it was behind him was because Drew Taylor at one tackle and Jimmy Walker at the other, their 2 inside tackles in the rush with their 4-man line, really had the pressure on Mortensen and just drilled him as he threw the football. He just let it go. He never saw where it went.
So it'll be Frederick back now, awaiting the punt by Gortz, who's standing at his own goal line. Frederick is number 5 in the United States Football League in kick returns. He's very gifted. He's a fine athlete. Gortz hits a beauty down the far side, end over end, bounces at the 49, high in the air, and then goes down at the 47 of Birmingham. So Birmingham will take over. 2:45 to go in the half. We're tied at 7-7. Well, the oldest sport in America, lacrosse, and 2 of the very best college teams ever to play it, Johns Hopkins and Syracuse, perennially among the very best in the country. And lacrosse, no game for the faint of heart, let me tell you. I guess the Indians were playing that long before Columbus discovered the country. That is kind of a wild and woolly get-together.
It takes some pretty stout hearts to get out there.
Some tough people.
Take that kind of a beating.
Smith is flanked wide to the right side. Anderson and Frederick are set to the left. And Talton is the lone setback now in this Birmingham alignment. They start on their own 47. Smith goes in motion. Lane hands off to Talton, and he is hit after a gain of a couple. In there very quickly was Turner, but the guy that was responsible for the tackle was Kyle Whittingham.
Calvin Turner fell off very quickly from his defensive right end side. Phoenix working the right tackle 71, but he doesn't really get him upfield. He tried to finesse him and use sort of a pass set to get him upfield and turn him outside. Turner was going to have none of it. He was taking an inside move and fell right into the play.
Billy White now, one of the setbacks, is back to throw his lane, has a lot of time, downfield, complete. Caught and dropped at the 31-yard line, Anderson. Great reception on defense, Nate Miller. Had an interception a moment ago to stop a Birmingham drive. And now the Stallions with a big first down at the 31. We've come to the 2-minute warning here. 2 minutes remain in the first half. We're tied 7-7. The Denver Gold is the best looked at franchise in the United States Football League, and there's part of the crowd that we think will be around 40,000 or thereabouts tonight. At halftime, Ford features the big plays. Tom Mees will recap all of the action, the big plays from last week's USFL action. And of course, that includes Monday night. You may get a look at a rather controversial call in the end zone in that Birmingham, Michigan game. 1st and 10 at the 31. The give is to White, hit behind the line, going to be stopped. He was nailed first by Gherkin. As he broke away, Gherkin got some help. As the Denver Gold defensive unit rushed to complement Gherkin's fine initial charge. Back at the 34, it'll be 2nd and 13.
Well, Jimmy Carr, the defensive coordinator and longtime veteran coach, calls the defensive signals. I'm sure he was anticipating that play-action pass on first down. He had Gherkin blitzing. Gherkin got penetration before they ever had a chance to get the play started. He guessed right, dropped him for about a 2.5-yard loss.
Gherkin is a Regis High School product here in Colorado.
107 tackles.
Back to throw his lane, sets deep over the middle, caught by his tight end Mason. Oh, and is he a handful to bring down. He attracted most every black shirt in that area, but he's inside the 30 at about the 29, a pickup of 5. 3rd down and 8 or thereabouts at the 29, and Birmingham is asking for a timeout. A minute to go in the half, and we're tied at 7. Without overstating the obvious, a very big 3rd down now for both of these clubs. Remember, we're tied at 7, and momentum would be an important thing to take with you into that dressing room at halftime. Birmingham would like to get some points. Denver would love to turn them aside here. 3rd down at the 24-yard line, going to be tough on the Denver Gold.
Well, it is, and the second quarter really has been Birmingham's highest scoring period so far this season. They scored 48 in the first period through the year, 84 in the second, 50 in the third, and 32 in the fourth. So big difference, big play.
3rd down and 3 at the 24. Lane hands off, and it's going to be no gain by White. Dropped at the 24-yard line. Great defensive play by Andy Paremba. Now, Don Heinrich, we had talked earlier about the great 3rd down conversion rate of this Birmingham club, almost 47%. They have not converted a 3rd down in 3 attempts, now make it 4 attempts. And here's Norwood again to try a field goal, a 42-yard effort.
And they actually lost about a half a yard on that play, and Raleigh Dodge knows, hey, when you get down there, you take points. We missed a field goal earlier from a fairly similar distance. We got to get one now.
Norwood missed a 41-yarder. Here's his try for 42. He's got the distance, but he's wide again. No, he's got it good this time. It looked to me to be wide. What I missed. I thought he made the first one. He didn't.
You're permitted a mistake. First one this year. The eyes are going.
This one was wide. All right. Norwood kicks it through, and Birmingham goes on top. They take a 10-7 lead on a 42-yard field goal by Norwood. He's 17 of 24 now, and Birmingham, after getting the ball on their own 47, turns it into a 3-pointer, and they've got a 10-7 lead. 20 seconds remain in the half.
Well, you emphasize the importance of going into the halftime with a lead and some momentum, where they started out the opening drive of this football game, marched down the field, made it look easy, looked like it was going to be a runaway if that was any indication, but then Denver, stiffening up on defense, forced the Birmingham Stallions to have to punt it away several times. Then they went down, scored once themselves, and since that time their offense has been fairly solid. Their defense has been very good, so 3 points is big at this stage for the Stallions.
The kickoff now, some people who can run it back. It's a low bouncer that comes to Stamper, picks it up on the second bounce. This kid is awfully quick, trying to get outside, gets to the 25, and down he goes. 14 seconds remaining in the first half, and we'll see now about the Denver offense. Grand Jean made the stop. 6 plays, 39 yards, the field goal of 42 by Norwood to give Birmingham its 3-point advantage as we're nearing the end of this first half. I want to remind you, Ron Blanding, the owner of the Denver Gold, has agreed to come by and visit with us at halftime. And, of course, we'll be talking about what everybody's been talking about, the controversy around the firing of Coach Red Miller, Morton being hired, and his battles with the media here in Denver and the surrounding area.
That should be very interesting, Tom. I'm sure you've got some good questions that is going to be interesting to the fans as well.
First down at the 25-yard line for Denver in just a handful of seconds. This is Bo Matthews on the sweep. Bo head down out to the 32-yard line, a gain of 7. 2nd and 3, 6 seconds, and it appears the clock is going to run out. Don't forget, the big plays are coming up at halftime as well. And there's the gun. That ends the first half of play. A surprisingly good one. A very tough, tenacious effort by this Denver club. At halftime, Birmingham 10, Denver 7.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Ford and your local Ford dealer will invite you to see the 1983 Ford Cars and Trucks present the USFL, the big plays. Let's go to the Pontiac Silverdome. Last Monday night, Birmingham at Michigan. Second quarter, the Panthers trailing at home 10-0. Little quarterback Bobby Hebert makes a big throw and a big play here by Anthony Carter, number 1. Off the hands of the defender, Carter hangs on to narrow the gap to 10-7. Birmingham still in front, and the cheerleaders love it in Pontiac. Later in the second quarter, Anthony Carter, back receiver Birmingham punt, goes from hero to goat. He fumbles it. Lonnie Johnson recovers for the Stallions, and the Stallions take advantage of this turnover as they did all 3 turnovers in the first half Monday. Bob Lane to Greg Anderson, touchdown. Birmingham increases the lead to 17-7, but the Panthers come back in the third quarter. This 1-yard TD plunge by John Williams ties it up at 20-all. Now we move to the final minute of play in regulation. Birmingham on the drive, which they hope will be the game winner. Bob Lane looking long for Ron Fredwick, and the ball is intercepted by Fred Logan. He rolls into the end zone, tries to spike the ball. Hey, Fred, the ball is still alive, but Daryl Mason of Birmingham makes a heads-up play, covers it. The official signals touchdown Birmingham. But they got together later, about 3 or 4 minutes later, changed the play. Michigan got possession. Neither team could score in the last minute of regulation. Raleigh Dodge says, hey, we should have won the game. Didn't work out that way. But in the overtime, Scott Norwood put an end to all the speculation. 46-yard field goal, winner. Birmingham beats Michigan 23-20 in overtime. Then last Sunday afternoon, Mile High Stadium in Denver, the Gold taking on the LA Express in a Pacific Division battle. The fans are mad about the firing of Red Miller. No doubt about that. And I guess the Denver defense was mad also. They come out smoking. The guys in black and gold come up with an early interception of a Mike Ray pass. That's David Dumars. He intercepts, and it looks here like he goes all the way for the touchdown, but he stepped on the sideline and about the 30-yard line out of bounds, so it wasn't a touchdown, but it was still a big play for Denver because that set up their first TD of the ballgame. Quarterback Alvin White back to pass, hits running back Harry Sidney across the middle. 32 yards for the score. The Gold take a 7-0 lead in the first half. Meanwhile, the Express, well, they were playing more like a local. Big tight end Ricky Ellis, one of the leading receivers in the league. He's wide open on a 4th down play. Nobody around him, looks like a touchdown. He drops the ball. Then later on in this first half, Vince Abbott badly shanks a field goal attempt, and the Express just can't put any points on the board in the first half. But the second half, LA played very well. Good catch coming up by recently signed Anthony Allen. Mike Ray has all day to pass, finds Allen inside the 25. Allen gets nailed but hangs onto the ball. That set up a TD pass. Mike Ray to John Barnett, 19 yards, and we're tied up in Denver at 7 apiece. The Gold went ahead 10-7 on a field goal, but a big play coming up here for LA. 3rd down, blitz is on. Mike Ray beats the blitz as he finds Wilbert Hazlitt. Hazlitt gets it all the way down to the 6-yard line of Denver, and then running back John Barnett goes over for the winning touchdown. LA wins a real gut-wrencher in Denver. Final, the Express 14 and the Gold 10. Then the Boston Breakers and the Washington Federals last Sunday afternoon, RFK Stadium, nation's capital, first quarter. Johnny Walton of the Boston Breakers had a good day. Not very many people showed up to watch the game, though, just over 7,000. Here in the first quarter play, Walton hooks up with the speedy Frank Lockett. It's a rainy, muddy day, but Lockett hangs on, 7-0 Boston. In the second quarter, though, Washington quarterback Mike Hohensee, who's really putting some points on the board the last couple of weeks, finds former Boston Breaker running back Billy Taylor. Some great moves by Taylor. He goes 46 yards for the touchdown, and the Federals at home have tied Boston by a count of 7-7. With 4 minutes to go in the first half, Hohensee finds Mike Holmes over the middle. Holmes makes the catch, and watch the maneuvering across the middle of this muddy field. 34 yards for the touchdown. And at halftime, Washington led Boston 14-7 to the fourth quarter. It's 14-13. Washington hanging on by the skin of their teeth. Holmesy back to pass, picked off by linebacker Mike Brewington, who returns the ball back to the Washington Federal 34-yard line with 7 minutes left in the game. And then quarterback Johnny Walton. Little play fake, fakes to his right, pump fake there, and finds Charlie Smith wide open. Touchdown, 39 yards, 2-point conversion good. The Boston Breakers stay alive in the chase for the wild card playoff spot. They beat Washington 21-14. Last Sunday evening, Sun Devil Stadium, Tempe, Arizona. Philadelphia Stars looking for their 8th win in a row against the Arizona Wranglers. 52-yard pass play early for Philly, the team in red. Quarterback Chuck Fusina hooks up with Willie Collier. The youngster at the University of Pittsburgh makes a good run across the middle of the beautiful turf there in Arizona. That set up a Kelvin Bryant touchdown. 1 of 2 on the night for number 44. Bryant, of course, the league's second leading runner 12 weeks into the season. Early second quarter. Arizona back to pass. Alan Risher looking over the middle of the field. It's tipped and intercepted by Scott Werner. Werner, of course, the former All-American from the University of Georgia. That set up another Philadelphia touchdown, as quarterback Fusina, number 14, would fade back to pass and look for Tom Donovan, his old teammate at Penn State. Donovan makes the catch in the end zone, 20 yards in a TD, 14-0 Stars. With a score of 14-7, third quarter, Philly again on the drive. It's again Fusina to Willie Collier for 10 yards. And then Kelvin Bryant, who ran for 106 yards in this game, picks up another 15 yards, picking his way downfield. He's a slashing type of runner. You really don't get a good hit on Kelvin Bryant. That set up Bryant's second touchdown of the night, 1-yard dive. And Philly wins its 8th in a row, 24-7 against Arizona. The Oakland Invaders invaded Tampa Stadium last weekend to battle the Tampa Bay Bandits. First drive of the game, 80-yard drive. Mike Kelly, the quarterback for Tampa, to Eric Trevelyan, 21 yards. Trevelyan, a nice run, nice maneuvering, touchdown. Bandits lead it 7-0. Later on in the first half of play, Kelly over the middle to Danny Buggs. This is second quarter action now. 18 yards for Buggs, the former National Football League veteran. That puts the Bandits in good position in Oakland territory. Now, watch this perfect pass play over the middle. Again, Kelly, the youngster from Georgia Tech, to Willie Gillespie, 16 yards, touchdown. Bandits led it 17-3 at halftime. Second half, former NFL All-Pro tight end Raymond Chester goes out for a pass here for Oakland. Fred Basana looks around, got plenty of time, finds Chester. Chester is nailed about the helmet. He had to be taken off the field on a stretcher. And fortunately, it was nothing more than a strained neck. So it looks like Raymond Chester will be playing some more football this season. Let's hope so. Bandit defense was also tough on this night. Fred Basana sacked here by nose tackle Ron Simmons, big number 50 of Tampa Bay. And a great effort here by little Greg Boone. Who says little guys can't play football? The game is already salted away, but Boone, does he quit? No. He smells that goal line. You think he's down? Guess again. Greg Boone, touchdown. Tampa Bay victory over Oakland, 29-9 last Saturday in Tampa. Then, of course, the Chicago Blitz and the New Jersey Generals last Sunday afternoon at Giant Stadium. We'll pick it up first quarter. 4th and goal, New Jersey. Herschel Walker, touchdown, New Jersey. The Generals lead it 7-0. The Blitz come back in the second quarter. Greg Landry drops back, dumps it over the middle to little Lenny Willis, who makes a big play, goes all the way for the touchdown. We're tied at halftime at 7 apiece. Early fourth quarter, big loss for the Blitz. Landry completes the pass to Wayman Buggs, yes, but Landry goes down with a fractured ankle, and Greg Landry is out for the season. 10-7 Blitz, and the Generals come right back. They run the reverse. Walter Tullis, big play here. He has some daylight and runs down to the 40-yard line of the Chicago Blitz. From there, you give it to your big play man, Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker finds a gap, runs in from 25 yards out, runs over the defensive back here. The PAT no good. The Generals had a 3-point lead, 13-10. Costly play for New Jersey, though. Herschel, well, he turns the ball over. Trying for that extra yard. He fumbles. Lance Shields recovers on the New Jersey 8-yard line. From there, the Chicago Blitz were stalled, so they had to settle for a field goal from Frank Corral. It's good from 35 yards out. We're tied at 13. We go to overtime. In the overtime, quarterback Tim Cagle replacing Greg Landry. Throws a bomb here to Trumaine Johnson down the right side. Watch out, Johnson pushes out the defender, gets open, no flag. George Allen decides to go for the field goal to win the game in OT. You got the field position, go for it. Corral lines up, Cagle, the holder. Cagle takes off with the football. He runs into the end zone. Touchdown. Chicago Blitz win it in overtime against New Jersey. The final 19-13. Have you driven a Ford lately? Ford and your local Ford dealer who invite you to see the 1983 Ford Cars and Trucks have presented the USFL, the Big Play. Now let's go to Denver. Tom Kelly and the owner of the Denver Gold, Ron Blanding.
10-7, Birmingham leads Denver here at halftime. Before the players take the field for the second half, a chance to visit with the owner of the Denver Gold, Mr. Ron Blanding. We thank you, first of all, for coming by.
Hey, thank you.
You became a national celebrity about 10 days ago, and Mr. Blanding fired one of the most popular of all Denver coaches, Red Miller. I expected that you expected media coverage in town to be kind of against you, but did you think you'd become a national figure over that?
Well, we thought we'd have a lot of problems when we did that, but we thought that was the right thing to do for the Denver Gold, and we wanted to change the direction of the Denver Gold, and that's what we did.
Do you think the media has given you a fair shake, Ron?
Well, you know, they got to do whatever they think is right. I don't want to be critical of them. They did what they thought.
One of the criticisms I've read about you and your ball club is that you have failed to go out and get some top-flight football players. Is that a fair criticism?
Well, we signed a good one the other day in Craig Morton.
Yes, you did.
Of course, we got Vincent White last week, and we'll be signing more and more players right now. So we'll get in good shape here pretty quick.
And you've made some other reorganizational plans. Namely, you've got Fred Gerke in now in a special role in your front office.
Yeah, it's nice to have Fred. Fred's always been a good friend of mine, and he'll do a good job for us. We're very glad to have him.
You've had great fan acceptance here.
We sure have. It's been great, and it'll continue. We'll get this thing going pretty good, and everything will be fine.
And you're going to have the championship game July the 17th?
Yeah, that's really great to have it the first year. It's really going to be accepted here, and it'll be a great thing. Everybody will remember that for a long time to come.
Thank you for coming by. I know it's not easy to be focused in on, but you've come by and come through it like a champion. We appreciate your efforts. We want to thank you very much for spending these moments with us.
Hey, thank you for inviting me.
And good luck with the franchise.
Thank you very much.
Ron Blanding, the owner of the Denver Gold. It's 10-7. Birmingham leads, but only by 3 at halftime. Here's Don Heinrich.
Well, the possessions in the first half, of course, the opener, Birmingham drove downfield 84 yards, culminating in the touchdown. And then the defense of the Denver Gold stiffened up, forcing him to punt. Good field position on that punt. They got nothing out of it. Then they came down, starting at their own 17, drove 59 yards, missed a field goal, a crucial at that point. And then starting from their own 20, it was 4 and out. And, of course, the last possession, they went 29 yards, starting again in good field position at their own 47, and put 3 more on the board to go ahead 10-7. Denver, on the other hand, had not good field position in the first half. The first couple times out, backed up around the 20-yard line. They had to punt the ball away. Then the third time, they took it 76 yards in 13 plays. The option play going over for the touchdown was Fred Mortensen, an excellent drive. Then again, they fell back, had to punt the football away, and then got just one play before the half. They decided to kill the clock with that one, and of course went in trailing 10-7. So as the clubs are back out on the field, they're getting ready for the kickoff here in the second half. Denver is lined up to go. The Birmingham Stallions kickoff coverage teams is ready, Tom, so it's all yours, big fella.
Thank you, Don. Norwood will be kicking off, and Scott Stamper, one of the newest additions of this Denver Gold football team. And a real speed burner, they have told us, standing at the 5-yard line. Certainly some people back there who can run with it. Vincent White, one of the newest additions. He's a real pick-him-up-and-lay-him-down type guy. Number 44, and James, who is also fleet of foot. Norwood to kick off. It is his field goal of 42 yards that is the difference between these two football teams. Each has taken advantage of a long drive to put touchdowns on the board, and Norwood's field goal, after missing one of 41, he hits one of 42, and that's the margin as we await the start of the third period. Again, we want to thank Ron Blanding, owner of the Denver Gold, for taking moments to come by and visit with us here at halftime. He certainly was the focus of attention around the league, but he apparently has taken it quite well. He'll weather the storm. Very successful businessman. Boy, Norwood just about hit it out of the county.
Did he ever?
Boy, off the back end of the end zone, and Denver will bring it to the 20. It'll be a touchback and a 1st and 10 for the Denver Ball Club on the Gold 20-yard line. Fred Mortensen, who completed 3 of 9 for 25 yards and scored the only touchdown, a 3-yard run on a keeper play, climaxing a 76-yard drive, comes out to quarterback the ball club. Now, lest you're critical of Mortensen, remember he was no better than the 3rd-string quarterback, and they've had some shuffling around in that department. Johnson, of course, their number 1, is injured. Knaffel was traded away. In fact, he's going to be starting. He's back east now. So Mortensen has taken over, and he's just really getting his playing legs under him. Back to throw to start the third period. Going to get sacked and wrapped up at the 15. Mike Raines in on top of him. Rogers, number 74, who might have done something about keeping Raines off the back of his quarterback, just kind of hitched up his pants and said, "I'll get you next time, big guy."
I'll tell you one thing. He about gave him pneumonia. He went by him so quick. Raines being their top pass rusher. That was his 6th sack of the year. And he went in there and jumped on Mortensen before Mortensen even had a chance to set up. But Craig Morton not wasting any time despite being on the 20. He was going to come out firing.
So we've got Mortensen now at his own 15-yard line. 2nd down and 15. Third period just underway. Denver with its opening possession, 10-7. They trail Birmingham. The linebackers stunting in and out. Mortensen to throw, comes out on the side to Sidney, and Sidney can't hang on. It was a tough catch coming out of the backfield, turning back for the ball. McPherson out there. I'd like to see him get Sidney one-on-one. This kid out of Kansas, who was a quarterback in the Wishbone offense under Don Fambro down there at Kansas for the first 2 years, and then went to fullback as a blocking back in the I formation, then finally got to carry the ball as tailback briefly. Is an outstanding talent. He now comes out of the ball game now, and going in is Vincent White. So it's 3rd and 15 at the 15-yard line as Craig Morton looks on. Vincent White is a smallish back, about 5'8" and 175 to 180. Teammates were calling him money bags on the sidelines in practice yesterday. Newest addition to the club. Long count by Mortensen. Boy, I don't think he got it away. He didn't. He ran out of 32nd time. Mortensen, well, Don Heinrich, you played quarterback, the National Football League, and with a great deal of brilliance during your career. 25 years or so you've spent around this game, and 15 of them under center. I suppose a guy just in there he's got some problems. He's trying to read a defense, trying to think, was he called the right play? He got a lot of things going through his mind, doesn't he?
Well, he certainly has, and you've expressed that he has not played a great deal, has had not a lot of game experience. That time, Birmingham was faking the blitz. Mortensen was trying to read that defense, come off to a different play with all the jumping around that was going on in there, and he just took a little too much time. You got to read it quick and get it conveyed to your receivers in a hurry.
Well, he's got receivers wide right and left. 4 men out. 1 lone setback. It's 3rd down and 20 now. They're showing blitz. Boy, Spencer juking in and out of the line. Mortensen to throw. Needs a big one. Downfield. He's got a man. Durden. Durden can't get it at the 40. Oh, what an effort.
Well, I'll tell you what. Mortensen went to the right receiver. There's 5 defensive backs across the board, if you count them from right to left. Actually 6 in this case. They brought in a 6th defensive back. They called a dime. There he comes downfield. The guy, Mike Hatchett, has got him man for man. They had him double covered to the outside, but Hatchett, who is responsible for that inside zone or man for man on the slot when they went with 3 wides, let himself get beat. A cardinal sin. He dodged a bullet. Very lucky.
Gortz to punt, and back downfield we've got Frederick awaiting the return. He's at midfield. You think Durden didn't want to catch that against his former teammates? Boy. The snap to Gortz. He's in the end zone and just does get it away. Gets knocked down, but no flag. Frederick at the 45 to midfield to the 46-yard line. So Birmingham with great field position and a lead. Birmingham 10-7, and they'll take over. So you want to be a kicker in pro football. In the end zone, Gortz gets the snap, and watch what he has to do.
Well, the pressure coming from the inside, some people might wonder why that is not roughing the punter, but actually the up back, as you could see from the left, got the block and, of course, forced the rushing defensive lineman, knocked him into the kicker. So really it is not a roughing the punter call. Good field position. Frederick did the best thing he could do. Took it straight back up the field in a hurry.
And that's the 47-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 Birmingham. They lead 10-7. Lane hands off and running right into the heart of that Denver defense, and that'd be big. Number 99, Calvin Turner, was Lonnie Johnson. You talk about the irresistible meeting the immovable. Boy.
Well, again, Adelet pulling across, but they have a little stunt going from that side. And, of course, Turner just drives right on into it. Pat Phoenix, 71, who you saw in the view there, is saying, wait a minute, you're not supposed to take an inside slant on me. I wanted to drive you back, open up that trap hole.
It is 2nd down and 10 at the 47. Birmingham with the ball, leading by 3, and Lane is back to throw. Look at the time. Pass complete. Smith down at the 30-yard line, and on the tackle, David Martin But Smith, rather easy catch, and all the time in the world for Lane to throw it.
As Smith comes down, he gets a little outside move, then just turns slightly inside of Dumars, a strong safety. He's covering the up area of the zone. He doesn't know Smith is turning in behind him. He's counting on help from that corner to say, going in, inside, hook move. But Smith was there, and a nice throw by Lane.
He's wide to the left. Here comes a blitz by Denver, and Johnson breaks the line of scrimmage and is brought down at the 28. Denver coming with a blitz. And Lonnie Johnson got, a couple. They'll mark it at about the 28, maybe even the 27. Second down for the Birmingham Stallions, who are on a hot streak. They've won 5 in a row. The last time these two teams met, Denver won it 9-7 on a 50-yarder field goal, that is, by Spielman.
With just 6 seconds to go in that football game.
Since then, Denver has not won a game, and Birmingham has come on with 5 in a row. And the Stallions are really hot, and now they lead 10-7. They've got the ball at the 27-yard line, 2nd down and 7. And the give to Lonnie Johnson, cuts back to the 25. Pretty good pressure. Paremba made the stop, but Gherkin, Don Heinrich, unless I saw it wrong, came in and really forced Johnson right back inside.
Yes, he did. Mark Battaglia, the right guard, number 59, was pulling from right to left. Gherkin was penetrating, and he met the trap move by Battaglia very strong, dropped the shoulder, had good leverage, and forced it back where the pursuit could get it.
31 yards on 7 carries for Lonnie Johnson, who really is an all-purpose back. He does a lot of things for Raleigh Dutch's club. Lane to throw. Almost intercepted. Pass intended for Mason, the tight end. Over there very quickly was Dumars. Dave has got 6 interceptions out of the 11 turned in by this Gold defensive unit. Dumars has been the most active in that regard. That toss by Lane was not too artistic, and Mason really had a little chance to get it. Dumars had the best shot at it. He really didn't have that big a chance. Well, we're going to have Norwood try still another 42-yarder by Norwood. He hit one prior to the end of the half that put his team on top by 3. He's missed one from 41, so here we go. The snap, and it's down. Again, he's got the distance. And again, it's good. So Norwood, one of the most prolific of the kickers in this league, makes it 13-7 Birmingham. Norwood, who's 18 of 25 in field goals, kicks off. Stamper out of the end zone. It'll come out to the 20. It'll be a touchback, and Denver 1st and 10 at that point. This Norwood now has hit 2 out of 3 tonight, and his second 42-yarder. This kid's a fine-looking kicker, Don Heinrich. 6 plays, 22 yards, and he gets the 42-yard field goal, and now 13-7 Birmingham.
Well, the Denver defense toughened up after Birmingham had excellent field position at that 47-yard line. They moved the ball for a couple of first downs, a big play pass from Lane to Smith, but then they couldn't move it on the ground as the defense did tighten up.
James is flanked to the left and Durden to the right. We've got Vincent White as the I-back or tailback in the I formation. Mortensen, the quarterback, at his own 20, sends James in motion. The give to White, and the little guy slides forward to about the 24. Now, White is listed at 5'8" and 190. And at that size, it is easy to overlook him.
Well, the guys on defense don't. They know that he's a little fire plug out there with excellent quickness. And, you know, at 5'9", as you said, and almost 200 pounds, he's a compact guy. And you try and hit him high, you're going to bounce off him. Yet he has the quickness to change direction.
13-7 Birmingham. Second possession of the third period for the Denver Gold. And Mortensen, the quarterback, needs to put a drive together. Birmingham shows a 7-man front. Now the linebackers drop back out again. On the delay, the handoff to Canada. He's over the 25 out to the 28. Walker makes the stop. In there also was McPherson. Jimmy Walker out of Arkansas, 6'3", 260-pounder. He was with the LA Express when the year started, and they cut him.
He was a leading tackler in that defensive line going into this game with 68. And he did a good job there playing off of Tom Davis, the offensive center, and then moving in to make the play.
Third down and a long 2 at the 28-yard line. Denver has not converted a third down in 4 tries. Mortensen hands off to Sidney, flag down, and Sidney is dropped as he tried to cut. Slipped and fell at the 25. In there on top of him was Rick D'Amico, very active linebacker, and a flag on the play. Going to have an offside called against Birmingham, and that's going to give the Denver Gold a new lease on life and a first down.
Well, that's one thing Denver has done during this 5-game winning streak is not made many costly errors. They had their share of penalties. We'll get the call. Well, apparently,
Don, we're having trouble with Dave Kamansky's mic. Yeah.
Yes, his doesn't seem to be working, but you know, everybody's going to get penalties. It's a matter of when they come and if you get hurt. In this instance, it keeps a drive alive when Denver is having a little bit of trouble here. Second possession in the third quarter to get the ball moving.
D'Amico made the stop. The tackle was called for being offside. So it's first down Denver at their 33-yard line. I formation, James in motion. Play action, Mortensen gets a rush. Steps up, may run it. He's got some room. Hold it. They're going to call him dead at the 25-yard line.
And you know why?
Oh, my.
Frank Reed, the strong safety, was blitzing, and they didn't have him picked up. And despite the fact that he went in clean, Mortensen stepped inside of him. Craig Morton, very irate on the sidelines, and that always goes back to the official that it's a judgment call, and in that instance, a terrible judgment by the official, because really, Mortensen, you'll see Frankie Reed coming in from the right, and then Mortensen steps up. Now, there's no way that Reed would have gotten him. But the official in the back, in order to protect the quarterback, said, no, he was down. And that's reason enough for Craig Morton to be unhappy, and I don't blame him.
Well, it's quite obvious that the replay showed that Reed did not have Mortensen. Ball goes back to the 25. Tough call for Kamansky. Canada pulling his way over the 35 to the 36-yard line. D'Amico, one of several there to make the stop. Also coming up, Billy Caesar. Really a very, very tough call for Kamansky, and if he had the benefit of instant replay, he would have swallowed his whistle because Reed never did have a legitimate grab on Mortensen.
Well, he certainly didn't in the normally very mild-mannered Craig Morton, showing his competitive spirit on the sideline, says there is no way that that man had him down or in his grasp, as the rule reads.
Third down and 7. The ball is call it third down and 7 at the 36-yard line. Big play time for Mortensen now. Birmingham showing almost an 8-man front. Mortensen to throw, steps up, looking, goes long downfield for Durden, and it is incomplete. Oh, what a battle between Caesar and Durden at the 15-yard line, and Caesar won that contest.
And they've done that a few times in practice when they were teammates down in Birmingham. A nice job by Mortensen. Good protection. As he drops back, you see the cup in front of him. Now he'll step up as the pressure goes around him, the offensive line moving him back. He lays it out over the top, unfortunately a little back to the inside. Had it been to the outside, there might have been a chance that Durden could go for the ball, but again, just a tad short, and Caesar getting a hand in.
And now Gortzin to kick it away for the Denver Gold. High snap, steps up and hits it. Good kick, end over end. Frederick, great returner, fumbles it through his legs. The ball is on the turf, scramble for it, and a huge pileup.
I believe that Denver might have recovered that one. If I were to just take a guess, they had it for a moment.
I tell you, Frederick made an awful good effort to get it back. We'll see how it turns out.
You can bet one thing, there's a lot of pulling and tugging going on underneath that pile.
Indeed.
Aha, I called one right for a change.
Denver has the ball at about the 15-yard line.
And that crowd can tell you that they got that football. Big break for the Golds at this point, and a costly error on the part of the Birmingham Stallions. Right there, the ball drops down. He loses it. He doesn't know where it is. Now he sees it. He goes for it. Good hustle. First man down. Second man in Birmingham. He goes. They overrun it. Another Birmingham man. Now everybody into the pile. And when I say they're tugging on that football underneath, you need some arm strength, because everybody is trying to jerk it away from the guy that has an arm lock on it.
Napton is the guy credited with the recovery, and they're going to mark it at the 11-yard line. Great field position, quite obviously, for the Denver Gold. They're down 13-7. Birmingham's turned it over twice. The other time was the interception.
Good chance for play action.
Mortensen, with the roar of this crowd still ringing in his ears, back to throw, fires it out in the flat, too high for Nizzolek, his tight end. Let me go back a moment ago to Kamansky, the referee. And of course, unless you know, let me explain that rule, don't hit him, he's dead, is in there expressly to protect the quarterback, to keep a guy from grabbing him, standing him up, and letting everybody attack him as though he was a free lunch counter. And so the referee, acting in good faith, really blew the play dead, thinking that he was saving Mortensen from undue punishment or perhaps serious injury. As it turned out, he blew the whistle too soon, but that can happen.
That time, Frank Reed, again, strong safety blitz, was in Mortensen's face, forcing him to throw the ball high to Nizzolek.
2nd down and 10 at the 11. Straight ahead, Sidney fights his way, gets to the 5-yard line. He was hit hard by Caesar and McPherson. But Harry Sidney, a hard running back out of Kansas, carries to the 5. It'll be 3rd down and 5 yards to go at the 5. Sidney's the number 6 rushing back in this United States Football League. He has only 24 yards and 6 carries. And one of the problems with the Denver offense has been they've not gotten the ball to this young man much in recent games, Don Heinrich, and he's a very important running back.
And they go with a 2 tight end offense right now. They bring in Darrell Gooseby, their backup tight end.
Mortensen on the keep. He's at the 5. He's in the end zone.
Oh, he got him with the option again.
I've never seen an Arizona State quarterback that couldn't run with the ball, Don Heinrich.
Well, you said that once, and I'll tell you what, he just verified it, because the first time obviously was not a mistake, as Mortensen, for the 2nd time tonight and the 2nd time this year or in his career, coming down the line, he sees a little crack, gets a nice block to the inside, a little bit late by Larry McPherson, the linebacker, trying to make the play. Another angle, and this time Mortensen going into the end zone as Harry Sidney picks up the block on McPherson. No hesitation on the part of Mortensen. Went for the 6 points, 2 touchdowns this evening.
So the game now is tied, and we'll see about Denver going on top. Spielman will try for the extra point, and it's up in the air, and it's good. So with 7:13 remaining in this 3rd period, Denver turns a break into 7. The Gold 14, Birmingham 13. That possession was a fumble.
On the 11. Start on the 11.
Monday night should be some kind of an exciting evening in the United States Football League, and here on ESPN, we've got Tampa Bay up at Michigan, and what an important contest that'll be. And of course, Chicago playing host to Arizona. Chicago's got a new quarterback, Scott, in the trade with New Jersey. George Allen losing Greg Landry. Al Risher's got all kinds of touchdowns, and Arizona beat the Chicago Blitz early on in the year. And of course, it's a real scramble in that Central Division. Tampa Bay on top, Chicago a game back, Birmingham and Michigan 2 back, and I tell you, Birmingham now is a point back, and a very, very important ball game for the Stallions right now as the Gold kicks off. In the end zone, Kincaid bobbles it, touches it down, and the ball will come out to the 20, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Birmingham at that point.
Once again, a little extracurricular activity going on down in the field as Raleigh Dodge, arms folded, looks on. 3 plays. Total yards, there has to be some discrepancy in that. Tapped by the 5-yard run. They started that drive. Was not the recovery at the 11-yard line?
Indeed it was. The ball was kicked. It was taken over by Birmingham en route to that. They fumbled it, recovered at the 11. So it is 3 plays, 11 yards on that touchdown drive. Mortensen putting his team on top, 14-13. Now we'll see about Birmingham as they take over on their own 20-yard line. Lane to throw with a lot of time, and over the middle to his tight end. And Mason is, what a tough customer, at the 30, wrestled about before he's finally down, lying right across that 30-yard line stripe. Miller was there, number 23, and you see big number 55, Putt Choate, who leads this Denver Gold club in defensive tackles. 38,829, the best looked at team in the United States Football League. And of course, you know there's a storm of controversy here in Denver over the firing of Red Miller, but that will disappear tonight if Craig Morton debuts as a winner. And he's up by 1. It is now
a winner.
1st and 10 at the 30. That's White with it. Turns the corner. He's got 5. Hustled out of bounds. Driven out by Tyler. But a nice gain by Billy White. we've told you, I think, but it bears repeating. He comes by his athletic prowess quite naturally. His father, an outstanding Major League Baseball player for the St. Louis Cardinals, and then, of course, the Yankees. In fact, he does the Yankee games now. Bill White.
Well, Pat Sandin is in there at the right guard, replacing Mark Battaglia. I believe I called him Battaglia earlier in the game. Battaglia, we don't know what the injury is or whether Raleigh Dotch just wants to give him a little breather.
Lane with a 2nd and 3. The ball is at his own 37-yard line. Hurdling to the 40-yard line is Lonnie Johnson. And again on top of him there, short. Number 53 coming up on defense is Calvin Newton.
Coming off that right side once again. Just kind of a slip block at that point between the center and the offensive left guard. Not much there as the defense closes it in a hurry. They jumped into it quickly and shut it down with a gap angle move that knowing Birmingham likes to run that football, decided to gamble, and it worked for him.
Skabinski's come in to add some blocking strength. It is 3rd down and inches, and a 1st down as Talton barrels straight ahead, getting a nice rush by the offensive line on the left side. You've heard Don Heinrich refer to the likes of Bob Woods and Buddy Adelette. Banks, of course, the veteran center. They move things around pretty good in there, and there's Talton for the 1st down.
Yes, and Talton normally running from the halfback position. Just a power play. They pulled again Sandin from right to left, a little bit of a quick trap type of a move. Earl Gant, their normal starter that had a good game against Michigan, came up lame prior to the ball game, so he didn't suit up. They're a little short of backs out there tonight.
Denver on top by 1. 3rd period action, and Birmingham's Lane in the backfield tries to set up a screen to Johnson. Great defense by the goal. Initially, Greg Gherkin. He's a pro out of northern Arizona, local product, I might add. Colorado boy, and he was there quickly, and Johnson, in his effort to get away from him, was just there too long, and the rest of the goal came over.
Well, you described it perfectly, that Gherkin, quick pursuit on the screen out to that side, never had a chance to get set up. And at that point, Johnson trying to elude Gherkin, they just ran out of time because the quick pursuit from the inside forced it down and shut him down with actually a loss.
Anderson wide left, Smith to the right. Smith has a touchdown catch tonight. Lane to throw. Looking for Smith. He's got him open. It's caught at the 45, and Jimmy Smith is down to the 43.
Boy, was he ever open at that point. Rolling into a zone on that side. One of the Birmingham players injured. Smith coming downfield. Passes the front man, David Martin, the corner, and then turns. You see coming into the picture, number 21 at that stage, the strong safety, Dave Dumars, overran it wide to the outside. So big gain, a crucial game. We'll be back in a moment. The score 14-13.
Birmingham Stallions have their schedule a tough one. Tampa Bay twice, Boston, Chicago, and Philadelphia. Notice that there's not a losing team on their upcoming schedule. And if anybody had their future in their hands, the Birmingham Stallions do.
Well, as you talked to Raleigh Dotch before the ball game, one of his concerns was that his club wouldn't be too weary, Tom. He expressed it to you down there. You showed the schedule, Raleigh on the sideline, and they might be wearing down just a little bit in the second half with just 3 days rest.
Well, they played Monday night against Michigan, a very tough game that you saw here on ESPN, and now they're involved in another toughie. Play action, Lane to throw, dumps it out. That's White behind the line. Oh, what a fine reaction. Over to make the stop was Putt Choate. I mean, you talk about back-to-back linebacker reactions to screen passes left and right. First Gherkin, now Choate. That's great defense.
It really is, and you indicated how active they are, and you said earlier that Choate was the leading tackler in that defensive linebacker core, and on this football team, he also led the Southern Methodist Mustangs in tackles 2 straight years. So he's no stranger when it comes to finding a man with the football.
So Birmingham on the Denver 44. It's now 2nd and 11. Denver leads 14-13, and Lane is back to throw. Looks for his tight end. He's got him. Stevens, and the big guy crashes to the 35-yard line. Stevens indeed is a big target. 6'3", 230 out of Oklahoma State. He caught 3 passes coming into this game, had one of those for a touchdown. But I mean, that is a real-sized man, and when you get